It is 10:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. It is the 22nd of May, 2024. This would be Bitcoin Pizza Day. So happy Bitcoin Pizza Day. We'll say a little bit about that here in just a second. What do we got? Oh, yes, the Circle P is definitely open for business. Today's Circle P is brought to you by Leathermint, the Leathermint. You can go find all your good leather goods over there at theleathermint.com. Hand stitched for sovereignty and style, honestly. If you want to get a hold of them, go buy some of their goods. Go to theleathermint, all one word.com. On Nostr, you can get a hold of them at Leathermint. On Deadbird site, you can get a hold of them at the Leathermint. And the coupon code, they gave me a coupon code to give to you for 10% off. Coupon code is Bitcoin and. Seriously, go check these goods out because this is a gentleman that will build you a custom wallet, or you can buy one of the off the shelf wallets, but the quality is it's stupendous. This is one of the best leather goods that I've ever seen, and it all boils down to quality of the materials and the quality of the stitching. And if I had to choose from one of those two, it would be the stitching. Terrible stitching makes for terrible everything. Ask me how many buttons I've lost off of my shirt because nobody knows how to sew anymore. This dude knows how to sew. Great colors, great leather. It's an awesome build. Go check it out, theleathermint.com. Bitcoin and, all one word, for your 10% off. And because he does take Bitcoin for payment for his goods and services, he is in the Circle P and he will shuttle me some Satoshis for any sales that I make for him. Now, let's get to it. It is Bitcoin Pizza Day. But what I find interesting is that the Bitcoin Pizza Day is being covered in the Economic Times. There's a piece actually written in the Economic Times. It was posted earlier today. It's titled Bitcoin Pizza Day and the Rise of Crypto Commerce. I'm not going to read it, except for the first paragraph. And this is written by Adul Patel. Imagine buying 2 pizzas for millions of dollars. Sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly what happened May the 22nd, 2010, a day now celebrated as Bitcoin Pizza Day. This day marks the first time Bitcoin was used to buy something in the real world, a transaction that has become legendary in the world of cryptocurrency. Herman Nerd, good morning. I just saw him pop into the chat on zap.stream. I am streaming live on zap.stream. Go over to zap.stream, join in the chat, point your finger at me, laugh, call me names, do whatever it is that you want to do. But this Bitcoin Pizza Day, I wanted to put this on the backside of the Circle P because the Circle P is where I bring you plebs that are just like you that have goods and services for sale in Bitcoin. If you're not selling it in Bitcoin, you're not going to be in the Circle P. I don't care what you're selling. You could be selling a life-saving medicine. You're not going to be in the Circle P unless you take Bitcoin, either main chain, Lightning, eCash, whatever. You're not going to be in the Circle P unless you take Bitcoin, one of those variations thereof. No shitcoinery. But I have, there's a thing that I have with Bitcoin. Unless I am hallucinating in my memory about the first transaction ever conducted with Bitcoin for a good or a service, it's not pizza. It's alpaca socks. Again, I reserve the right to be wrong, but I remember it being alpaca socks. That was the first true physical good sold for Bitcoin that I remember. It's not the pizzas. Came around the same time. Unless somebody can prove to me different, the pizzas were not the first thing to be bought with Bitcoin. But since we are on Bitcoin Pizza Day, it should be noted that at the time, 10,000 Bitcoin, which is what he paid for these 2 Papa John pizzas, Laszlo Henrik, I guess is how you pronounce his last name. When he paid that, it was worth, I don't know, $36 or $24. I can't remember. Inflation hadn't hit us because COVID wasn't raging and we didn't destroy the economy, although we were well on our way. But it was like $24 at the time. So no, Laszlo did not spend millions of dollars on pizzas. Yes, today those same Bitcoin are worth around $700 million, but at the time it was worth $24. It's the time that matters, not what it can be in the future, not what it was in the past. And for all of us that kick ourselves for selling any of our Bitcoin at all in the past for much less prices than what we're getting today, cut yourself a break, please. I don't know how we're going to get any kind of circular economy with Bitcoin unless people are either, and I'm not even saying go out and spend your Bitcoin. I'm not actually even, okay, that you're some kind of horrible person because you refuse to spend your Bitcoin. I'm saying that if you want to spend some of your Bitcoin on something, then do it in a good way. Do it in a way where you spend Bitcoin directly to some vendor for their good and service. Don't convert it to cash and then buy the thing. Buy it for Bitcoin if you can. And then later on, when you realize that if you had just waited, that you would have been able to buy 7 times more of the same thing, don't kick yourself. Don't berate yourself. Don't call yourself stupid. Because if it wasn't for people like Laszlo and whoever the hell bought alpaca socks, we wouldn't be where we are today. It was one of the first transactions that said a couple of people agree on what the value of a Bitcoin is. That time, May 22nd, 2010, 10,000 Bitcoin was worth 2 Papa John pizzas. So just understand, you don't have to kick yourself every single time that you go, damn, I really shouldn't have done that. I mean, what are you going to do? Wait till you're 95 and then spend some? And then like a year later, when it's like tripled in price, you're going to go, what? I'm 96. I'm not dead yet. Oh my God, I feel like a terrible person. I think that this is stupid, but not as stupid as what comes next. America's first Bitcoin president. Donald J. Trump is now accepting crypto donations from Bitcoin Magazine, written by Bitcoin Magazine. I guess they don't give any author credits anymore, but whatever. President Trump, in a press release published on his website this afternoon, announced that his campaign is going to take back the White House and it will begin accepting donations using Bitcoin. Yeah, there's more to the story. This announcement by his campaign is sure to stoke the fires between the incumbent President Joseph Biden, who alongside fellow Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren has spent the majority of his term in Washington waging an all-out regulatory attack against the digital asset space and Bitcoin in particular. Quote, as our president, Donald J. Trump, has reduced regulations and championed innovation in financial technology, while Democrats like Biden and his official surrogate, Elizabeth Warren, continue to believe only government has the answers to how our nation leads the world, the announcement stated. Quote, the effort to reduce the control of government on an American's financial decision-making is part of a seismic shift towards freedom. Today's announcement reflects President Trump's commitment to an agenda that values freedom over socialistic governmental control, end quote. As Bitcoin Magazine made note in its Orange Party issue, Trump's appointment to former Coinbase VP Brian Brook as the comptroller of the currency was, quote, the single most important Bitcoin forward move in the history of the United States. God, bullshit. As it allowed banks and financial firms to hold cryptocurrencies. This ruling went into effect midway through the last year of Trump's first term. The Bitcoin price multiplied around 20 times in just the next calendar year. The Trump administration has been no stranger to Bitcoin over the years, with the appointment of longtime Bitcoin and crypto proponent Mick Mulvaney as his White House chief of staff, as well as PayPal's Peter Thiel making an appearance on his transition team. Trump also made history by being the first U.S. president to embrace non-fungible tokens with his incredibly successful Trump cards that sold out at the end of 2022. And yet another historic first, not to be forgotten, Melania Trump was the first lady to tweet about Bitcoin creator Satoshi Nakamoto's contribution to the financial system at the start of 2022, referencing the January 3rd anniversary of the Genesis block that kickstarted the Bitcoin blockchain. In January, at a campaign stop in New Hampshire, Trump promised that when he's elected, he will not allow the Federal Reserve to create a central bank digital currency. Quote, "Tonight, I am also making another promise to protect Americans from government tyranny," Trump said. "As your president, I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency." Yeah, well, we'll see. As for the campaign donations themselves, the announcement specified that donors would be able to send Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies to the Trump 2024 campaign via Coinbase, the only publicly listed Bitcoin exchange in the United States. Quote, Biden surrogate Elizabeth Warren said in an attack on cryptocurrency that she was building an anti-crypto army to restrict Americans' rights to make their own financial choices. The announcement continued, quote, "MAGA supporters, now with a new cryptocurrency option, will build a crypto army moving the campaign to victory on November the 5th, end quote. For details on how to donate to the Trump 2024 campaign, visit their website here. Okay, well, that's kind of interesting. Let me see. Did I not put it up here? I didn't. Okay, so it's interesting because apparently I think it was Pierre Richard. It may have been one of the other guys. One of the other old G's had a tweet out that said that Coinbase Commerce does not directly take Bitcoin as a cryptocurrency. So I'm assuming, and I can only assume here at this point, make an ass out of you and me, is that Donald Trump's ability to, or vehicle to accept cryptocurrency for donations to his campaign is actually being run through Coinbase Commerce, and it appears that Coinbase Commerce doesn't directly accept Bitcoin itself. And moreover, it's not just that Donald Trump is taking Bitcoin, right? He's taking 7 shitcoins, including Shiba Inu, Doge, XRP, Solana, and Ethereum. It's disgusting. Honestly, we are entering pinnacle. Let's just get votes any way we can. Now, this just doesn't go for Donald Trump. It doesn't, because now we've got another one of the presidential hopefuls, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., doing something equally stupid. I mean, okay, let me back the truck up one step. I don't think it's specifically stupid to take Bitcoin for your, campaign or whatever. But when it's so blatantly evident that you're just pandering. It's just political pandering. The only good to come out of any of this is that these people understand that we are on the other side of the river Styx. Finally crossed the river Styx. And I can tell, because now it's almost an imperative that if you are running for any kind of office whatsoever, you best be on the side of, God, I hate to say it, cryptocurrency. All right, so that's where we are. Except Robert F. Kennedy's taking a slightly different tact. Here's his tweet that says, "I'm very aware of what the average retail investor has been saying about the need for greater transparency in our markets, stronger regulatory oversight, and tougher penalties for market manipulation and criminal behavior. My administration will support the ape retail rebellion." Let me say that again. Ape, as in, a gorilla. Ape retail rebellion and enact aggressive Wall Street reforms. To match action with words, I just invested $24,000 in GameStop. He threw $24,000 at GameStop, even after Roaring Kitty quit posting. Basically, Roaring Kitty posted, and if you didn't listen to the show on Monday or last Friday, You don't know who Roaring Kitty is. He's the whole GameStop dude that did the whole thing, in 2021, 2020, somewhere around that time, when GameStop and AMC and meme coin or meme stocks were just actually that's what brought on the term meme stocks, was Roaring Kitty, and also known as deep fucking value. So a little late to the party, pal, but anyway, he's going to match his action with words. He just invested $24,000 in GameStop from the fees I earned from suing Monsanto for their knowingly poisoning our soil and causing cancer. I love the idea of making Monsanto support GameStop and the apes, APES. He's aping in. We need a free and fair market. Let's punish predatory short selling to the moon. Oh, for God's sakes. Who wrote this shit from? By the way, I ride with you and I'm not leaving, so play on the ride or die. And then he's got this, and I'm going to throw this over here into the chat so people can see it. This is the poster that he put up. It's like a movie poster for, Planet of the Apes, except it's him holding a falcon or some such shit. It's just, the whole thing is cringe, as cringe can possibly be. Oh, and by the way, it was Bitstein who said or found out that, or at least what he's been told, is that Coinbase Commerce cannot accept Bitcoin payments, and Coinbase Commerce is clearly where Donald J. Trump is getting his donation. I mean, it's clear Coinbase hates Bitcoin, even though it built their entire company, but that's a completely different philosophical statement. I won't even get it. But let me kill that and get back to these cool ass wallets and stuff from theleathermint.com. That's theleathermint.com. All right, so clearly we've crossed into the other side of the river Styx. Clearly we are firmly inside the fact that Bitcoin is now a political force. I kind of wish it wasn't, but it's going to be that way. And again, it's like the Bitcoin ETFs. You don't have to like them, and you can totally hate them. You certainly don't have to take part of them, and I certainly advise that you don't. But that doesn't mean that they're going away. Bitcoin is going to be here for political purposes now and forever. It is now a thing. Welcome to today, which is Wednesday, May the 22nd, 2024. Again, Bitcoin Pizza Day. And thank you to The Grinder, Lou, and Kieran. Shit, Kieran zapped 10,000 sats. Wow, thank you, brother. But not to be saying that The Grinder's 420 isn't just as important to me, and the 121 sats that Lou zapped me, because it's all Satoshis. Again, it's one of those things where if you're going to give me any portion of your treasure, I thank you. I truly, truly thank you. But we do need to touch on this before we get into the rest of the bullshit. Ethereum ETF confirmed. Well, VanEck Spot Ether ETF is listed by the DTCC. What does this remind you of? Well, this is exactly what the hell happened right before Bitcoin got listed as a spot Bitcoin, or the spot Bitcoin ETF actually went live. It got listed on the DTCC, and then it got delisted off the DTCC. Then all kinds of other chicanery happened. Let's see what's going on with Shitcoin numero uno. Amid increasing speculation about the possible approval of a spot Ether exchange-traded fund in the United States, on May the 23rd, global investment manager VanEck ETF has been listed by the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, or the DTCC ticker, or under the ticker symbol ETHV. The DTCC is an American financial market infrastructure provider that offers clearing, settlement, and transaction reporting services to financial market players. A listing on DTCC is considered a crucial step before final approval from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. VanEck ETF is currently designated inactive on the DTCC website, meaning it cannot be processed until it receives the necessary regulatory approvals. So it's up there. It's up there. Let's go on here. A crypto lawyer, Jake Chernivsky, noted in a post on Deadbird that policy is driven by politics. And for months, Crypto has been winning the political battle. He also speculated that former President Donald Trump's endorsement of cryptocurrency compelled the administration of President Joe Biden to shift its policy. And in this tweet, it basically says, it's hard to believe this SEC would do us any favors like approving the spot Ethereum ETF. No, Jake, you have no idea what this is. Just going to steal people's money. But policy is politics, and crypto has been winning the political battle for months. Okay, so this is actually maybe the Biden camp saw how many voters Trump could win with one pro crypto comment and decided to pivot. I don't know, Jake. Maybe not. It doesn't really matter because Ethereum is a security. Does that mean that the SEC is going to understand that and not list the Ethereum spot Bitcoin or the Ethereum spot ETF? And my answer is I don't think. I think this system is so corrupt at this point that nobody gives a shit. They will say, they will release anything into the wind to get votes, whether you're Trump, Biden, RFK Jr., it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's all lip service, all pandering, it's all bullshit. I mean, it's, from their point of view, from the politicians' point of view, civil rights, you could say that there were a lot of people that used it to pander. Biden was pandering all the time with, hey, we're going to clear your student loan debt. There's all manner of pandering. Cryptocurrency has just now been added to the pantry of goods that you can cook up in a pandering pan to give to unwitting voters as something that they're getting for their vote. And it's all a lie. It's all bullshit. None of these people actually care. No, it's the SEC doesn't seem to care that what they are about to do is release an unregistered security that is going to make everybody rich, but the people that are getting in now. Because at one point or another, this whole ether thing is just, it's a train wreck waiting to happen. And I just, don't really know what else to say about that, except that, so now we've got all three parties involved in pandering, and they're using cryptocurrency to do it. And it's so haphazard as to be cringe. It's just cringe. See, and here's another one from Decrypt. Andre Bagansky is writing this one. Biden opposes crypto bill ahead of House vote after Gensler blasted. Well, let's see what this means. President Joe Biden is opposed to the Financial Innovation and Technology for the 21st Century Act, or the FIT21, the crypto market structure bill that's planned to go up for a vote in the House of Representatives on Wednesday. But he didn't threaten to veto it, potentially signaling a shift for the administration. The pandering. Let it begin. It's a panda bear. You can go visit it in the zoo over there in Washington, D.C. Previously, Biden said he would veto a bill erasing rules from the Securities and Exchange Commission on crypto custody for banks. While the measure repealing the SEC Staff Accounting Bulletin, SAB 121, has passed the House and the Senate, Biden has yet to veto it. The White House said it opposes the FIT21 bill because it lacks sufficient protections for consumers and investors who engage with crypto. Meanwhile, the stance mirrored comments from SEC Chair Gary Gensler, who sounded the alarm on Wednesday in written remarks. In a letter, the agency's leader warned that enacting novel rules for regulating crypto could undermine the strength of America's capital markets and leave investors in the dark on disclosures that they deserve, putting both at immeasurable risk. This afternoon, the House is expected to vote on FIT21. The bill, which has received bipartisan support from both Democrats and Republicans, would create a federal framework for the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Commodity Futures Trading Commission to regulate digital assets. Among his gripes, Gensler lamented that the bill would remove so-called investment contracts from the statutory definition of a security. Oh boy. Previously, the SEC has said many tokens resemble securities on the basis that investors allocate money to tokens with the expectation of profits derived from the efforts of others. That's the Howey test right there. Altering that designation for crypto is telling, Gensler claimed. Quote, the bill implies what courts have repeatedly ruled. But what crypto market participants have attempted to deny that many crypto assets are being offered and sold as securities under the existing law. Analysts have pointed to former President Donald Trump's embrace of crypto as a motivating force behind the Act new crypto rules. News that Trump's campaign is now accepting cryptocurrency donations broke yesterday, after lawmakers voted to erase the SEC's crypto custody rules that restrict banks' ability to safeguard the assets. Taking into consideration how decentralized a cryptocurrency is, oh, bullshit. The bill would provide a pathway for projects issuers or any person to self-certify assets as digital commodities. Gensler wrote, that's what he wrote. I screwed that sentence up, but whatever. Leaving the SEC with only 60 days to review and challenge the certifications, Gensler expressed doubt that the agency would be able to keep up, citing constrained resources. Gensler pointed out that the SEC is being asked to do more without additional funding. Oh, poor babies. And if the agency fails to challenge certifications during the aforementioned window, he said that a vast majority of the market might avoid even limited SEC oversight. Excluding crypto asset trading platforms like Coinbase from the definition of an exchange would also put investors in harm's way, Gensler claimed, because companies could theoretically commingle funds or bet against their customers, among other conflicts of interest. Letting companies pick and choose which regulatory regimes they are subject to could be disastrous, in his view, if non-crypto firms seek a framework that Gensler described as having a lighter touch. Penny stock pushers and pump and dump schemers are among those that could, Gensler said. Quote, many players in the crypto industry don't play by the rules, Gensler concluded, pointing to fraudsters and bankruptcies. Quote, we should make the policy choice to protect the investing public over facilitating business models of non-compliant firms. End quote. That's gobbledygook. So essentially, Gensler does not like what's going on with the FIT 21 bill. Biden has blasted it, but he said that he's not going, but he hasn't said whether or not he's going to veto it. That silence speaks volumes. And again, we come back to where are we today? I mean, this is a wholesale change. Yeah, we've seen other candidates kind of dance around it, and some people have even said, yeah, I'm going to, like Vivek Ramaswamy, or they were going to accept it and blah, blah, blah. But now it's getting very clear that it's starting to affect how things operate at the SEC, the CFTC, this FIT 21 bill, which means that now the operations inside of Congress are being affected by this whole world. It's important, and it doesn't mean that that's good. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad either. In my opinion, it just means that the weight of the situation has increased by 100x minimum, at minimum 100x. Okay, so if FIT 21 passes, then it's going to kind of carve away some of the definitions inside the Howey test and redefine what a security actually is. And it looks to me like they're doing this because they want votes, not because they think that all these things are good. In my opinion, the Howey test protects a lot of people. And sure, you might say, well, that's a government thing. Yeah, but I mean, I could apply the Howey test personally, but that's because I kind of live, eat, breathe this world and have for like a long time. I hate to say it, but I am more sophisticated than most people that are going to come up against somebody trying to shill them Ripple, for God's sakes. I can apply it for myself. I can look at the background of Ripple or Solana or any of the, or God forbid, Ethereum, look at any of these things and go, no, dude, that's a security. I don't want any part of it because you guys are going to hose me. I don't want to do that shit. Not one bit. This is dangerous juju, man, and we need to stay away from it. Okay, so back to just Bitcoin. So that's pretty much the majority of the political shitcoinery that is going on today. It's ridiculous, but it's not going to go away. And it's going to get worse. It is going to amplify, and it's going to amplify after that, and it's going to amplify after that, and it's just going to become so much noise that I hate to say it, but ladies and gentlemen, alt season is upon us. My opinion, just buy Bitcoin and hold Bitcoin. Even if your only choice is to do it through your pension plan or your retirement account and have to do ETFs, because BlackRock Spot Bitcoin ETF has recorded the largest inflows since April as Bitcoin hovers just right at $70,000. A popular Bitcoin spot exchange traded fund in the US is seeing ramped up activity once again after a relatively dim few weeks as Bitcoin trades over $70,000 level for the first time in a month. BlackRock's IBIT product saw over $290 million in inflows on Tuesday. Preliminary data published by Farsight Investors shows and recording its highest one-day inflow so far this month and the highest since April the 5th. The figures were nearly thrice, thrice of a previous monthly high of $93 million on May the 16th. IBIT's total holdings have now swelled to over $19 billion as shown by its product page. Tuesday's figures now stand out as unusually large compared to activity earlier this month, where IBIT recorded low or even zero inflows before May the 15th. IBIT also recorded its first ever day of outflows in April, leading to some bearish sentiment for Bitcoin at that time. However, activity or higher activity this week comes alongside hopes of an Ether spot ETF getting approved for trading in the US and a positive outlook for cryptocurrencies from Donald J. Trump ongoing presidential campaign. Meanwhile, Grayscale's GBTC extended a 4-day streak of no net outflows, putting a temporary pause on what had been one of the biggest losers since the products were launched back in January. As a whole, ETFs took on nearly $300 million in net inflows on Tuesday. Only Bitwise, which is ticker is BITB, and VanEck HODL recorded outflows at $4 million and $5 million respectively. So not a whole lot of outflows. But if you add up Monday and Tuesday for inflows into the particular spot Bitcoin ETF products, it's $530 million. So just over $500 million in 2 days. So things seem to be coming back into all of this. But again, I cannot stress this. Now that Bitcoin's become politically charged at 100x times what it was just a month ago, we need to be real careful here. Really careful. If there was to be only silver lining, if there's only one silver lining in this entire cloud of politically charged Bitcoin bullshit, it's this. It may put the damper on the regulatory spite against self-custody, some of the other technologies. But we'll have to, wait. See. Let's run the numbers. I'm drinking coffee. I should be. I'm looking at y'all's comments. Let them play with coins. Pander Bear. That is a good show title. Thanks, Perma Nerd. I'm thinking of naming it political shitcoin, but Pander Bear may be better. I've noticed, like I've got 2 episodes in the last like few weeks that have done like insanely good even though it's pretty much the same show every single time. And one was when I titled it Runatics. That one is my best performing show, and I think it's just because of the name. I didn't do anything different. I didn't tell people, hey, go out and buy runes because they're cool. I basically slammed them. And yet what the best performing episode in like a month. And then Free Assange, the one that I did on Monday, it's flying for no other reason. I mean, I mentioned Assange. I told what was going on with Assange, but it wasn't a whole show about Assange. So it looks to me like the title of the show means everything. God, damn it, that makes me kind of sick. But Pander Bear might have to do that. That actually came out of my dad. He used to call Bill Clinton Pander Bear because he's the worst panderer of them all. Ooh. Oh no. Breaking news, guys. CNBC. Federal Reserve minutes indicate worries over lack of progress on inflation. Seriously? That's breaking? My God almighty. CNBC futures and commodities got Brent North Sea oil down just over a point. West Texas Intermediate is down 1.18% to $77.73. Natural gas, however, continues its rally, 5.8% to the upside. That's because Europe is really needing natural gas, and they've destroyed all of their ability to get any natural gas from anybody but the United States. Sick, but that's what's going on. Gasoline has dropped 1.3%. All your shiny metal rocks are having a pretty bad day. Gold included, 1.43% to the downside, $23.91 as of right now. Silver is down just over 2 points. Platinum is down 1.1. Copper is down a full 5.5, and palladium is down 2 2/3. Agricultural futures look pretty green today. The biggest winner of all is going to be cotton, 4% to the upside. The biggest loser is sugar, 2% to the downside. Live cattle is up a 0.5 point. Lean hogs are down 1 1/3. Feeder cattle are up 1 1/10 point. And all of the legacy financial indices are looking pretty red today too. Not terrible, but still red. Dow is down 0.4%. S&P is down 1/3. NASDAQ is down 1/4, and the S&P Mini is down 1/2. On to Bitcoin, which is trading at $69,620. So we're down past 70,000 one more time. The range bound shit just drives me crazy. $1.37 trillion of market cap. And that means that you can get 29.2 ounces of shiny metal rocks with your one Bitcoin, of which there are 19,701,714.87 of. And fees have gone up a little bit, 0.14 BTC taken in fees on average per block on a per block basis. Speaking of blocks, how many blocks do we have? We have 178 blocks carrying over 200,000 unconfirmed transactions waiting to clear at high priority rates of 21 Satoshis per VByte. Low priorities clocking in at 16, and anything under 4, now let's make it 5 Satoshis per VByte, being kicked out of mempools around the world. Hash rate looks to be around 597.1 exahashes per second. Now, we're about to get into the boostograms. But before I do that, the only way that you can support your favorite podcaster, and this actually goes for the way that musicians are starting to work, and it's going to be coming in a lot. It's called value for value. And if you want to get a new podcast app, and I highly recommend that you do, because if you don't, you're missing out on chapters and album art and transcripts and live item tags and social interact tags and all the goodies that Adam Curry and his buddy John are spinning up down there at podcastindex.org, which is where you can go to find your apps. If you want to get a new podcast app and get into podcasting 2.0 and support your favorite content creators, you can do that over at podcastindex.org/apps. There's TrueFans, there's Podverse, Podcast Guru, Fountain App, CurioCaster, Castomatic, Podstation, and Breeze. And those are all the ones that allow boostograms as well as streaming Satoshis. Yes, you can, in live time, if you've got a wallet, you can stream Satoshis, the smallest unit of Bitcoin, to your favorite podcaster and content creator on a per minute basis as you listen. And these are the ones that do it. Again, True Fans, Podverse, Podcast Guru, Fountain, CurioCaster, Castomatic, Podstation, and Breeze. And my daily driver is the Fountain app. I love Fountain.fm. Go get it. It works. It's very well done. And Dubrovko knocking it out of the park today with 42,500 Satoshis. Brother, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm sending this boost for the purpose of you, David, boosting this show. I just listened to an interview with the dude from Fountain, and he said people are still paying users sats to listen to episodes. The fungal arbitrage episode would be a great candidate for a week, followed by Texas Slim episode. Maybe even Forrest Walker Part 1, and leave the listener to decide if they want to hear Part 2. I have these sats from relocating a batch of black soldier fly larvae to a listener. Awesome. And I've got like 70 or 80 bucks in my worth of Bitcoin in my Strike wallet that I'm trying to figure out, because the way that the Fountain has still not enacted a way for me to pay. Because what Dubrovko's saying is that Fountain has these ways of, I can, help the show by like paying people to listen to the show, which is the only can be done in podcasting 2.0. You're never going to get that on Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts, which is how defunct. Like, I don't know, any of the other legacy podcasting apps. There's no way that you can do this. But I'm kind of trapped in Fountain. They've promised me that they're going to fix that and start taking Bitcoin to be able to do a promotion for the show. Right now, I kind of can't. So I'm going to have to shuttle all this money over to a bank and then shuttle it back over to Fountain, and because I think they use Stripe or something like that. But thank you, Dubrovko. I appreciate it. O2ZX with 10,000 sats says boost again in case I did not stream you sats. And then O2ZX boosted 5,000 and says, and one more for luck. O2ZX with another 5,000 says free Assange and free Ross Ulbricht as well. Yes, absolutely. Letter 6173 with 5,000 sats. Holy shit. Loved your shout out on Citadel Dispatch when you rated the chat. Yeah, that was a good shout out, man. I love Matt. Matt's one of my favorite people in the space. The Bitcoin Potter 3333 more efficient mining rigs will not equate to less heat. The hash rate of the rig will just be higher and essentially produce the same heat output. Oh, this is the limiting factor on heat expulsion is the power supply in these rigs, like 2,000 watts, something like that. Miners will want to take full advantage of every incoming watt, which means efficiency is desired, but not at the expense of less power consumed and therefore less overall hash rate. Keep sending the signal. Dude, Bitcoin Potter, thank you. That I think you're right. I think you very well may be right. And that is interesting because what I was saying, for anybody that doesn't understand what's going on right there, I was kind of concerned saying that we're developing all these ideas, and some people are developing companies on how to harness the waste heat and do things with it from Bitcoin miners. And my argument was that if mining efficiency goes up on the ASIC chip, they won't be radiating as much heat. And therefore, these ideas that we have start to become less and less effective. However, Bitcoin Potter's saying, no, that's not true because of the way that general thermodynamics works. I am forgetting the second law of thermodynamics. So I appreciate Bitcoin Potter for that one. Dirty Jersey Whore with 1976 says, y'all be good. Dubrovko with 1750. Regarding a journalist that worked with whistleblowers treatment, the purpose of the system is what it does, not what it claims to do. Stafford Beer, this note got to me, and then he gives a note, which I cannot read. I wish Fountain would have the ability to read Noster notes in the comments or the boostograms. I would love that. God's Death 237, thank you, sir. No, thank you. Satoshi Tico 101, thank you. No, hold on. Satoshi Tico, 101 Satoshis. Thank you. No, sir. Thank you. No, sir. Thank you. I appreciate you. O2ZX boosted 100. David, do you know if I listen through web browser on fountain.fm, I stream you sats? Thanks. I don't think so, O2ZX. I think it actually has to be on the actual mobile app. Pretty sure that that's a deal. That's the other thing that I want from Fountain app. They need a way more robust web interface. Yes, I know that a lot of people use mobile, but a lot of other people actually will do this at work. They'll listen at work at their desktop while they're doing other things. And podcast apps are forgetting the web crowd. You need to stop forgetting the web crowd. We exist. We're here. We're not going away. At one point or another, people have desks to sit at. Pies finishes us out. Thank you, sir, with 100 sats. No, thank you. And that's the weather report. Hey, I'm Permanerd with 1,000. Thank you. Orange Mart with 420 sats. Guys, stepping up to the plate today. Man, I cannot tell you how glad my heart feels when I see that. I cannot, I just, there's just no word. There really is just no word. I thank you all for being here and supporting the Bitcoin and show. Welcome to part 2 of the news that you can use. Coracle version 0.4.5 has been released. It is a free and open source web client for the Nostr protocol focused on relay selection and management, web of trust based moderation, and content recommendations, as well as privacy protection. There's some cool stuff that Hodlbod released in this one. Quote, Coracle 0.4.5 is out. This release was over 2 months in the making and includes a whole lot of small quality of life updates, as well as a complete rewrite of relay selection and feed loading, announced the man himself, Hodlbod. Quote, the flagship feature of this update is custom feeds. One of the biggest promises of Nostr has always been to give control to the user. This is a huge idea, and while being theoretically possible, the tools haven't really been able or available to make that happen until now. With Coracle's custom feed builder, you can not only choose what people or topics you want to hear from, you can also incorporate lists and data vending machines or DVMs into the mix as well. And because the feeds can be saved and shared, it's now trivial to view other people's lists and feeds. The marketplace of algorithms is now a reality. I don't think we understand what the word algorithm truly means. We can be our own algorithm. In fact, when you decide to follow somebody on any social media site, whether Twitter or Nostr, whatever, don't care. You are the algorithm. You made a selection. You put that particular account in a list of things, whether just by following it. That is a list. There are accounts you follow. There are accounts that you don't follow. Part of the algorithm. You are your own algorithm. And now Hodlbod has just given you a whole bunch of tools to be able to kick that ass a little bit more. Quote, a big part of this release was the Welshman library, which you can find here. It contains various Nostr-specific tools, including for connection management, relay selection, and loading custom feeds. Very alpha, so expect things to change. New release also adds support for rendering code fences. Quote, this is especially nice when trying to publish literal URLs or Nostr entities without having them auto-rendered, said Hodlbod. Coracle now has a better relay settings page, allowing users to toggle read and write relays independently. The new release also comes with a handy little HUD that will show you the status recently published notes or of recently published notes, useful for tracking down uncooperative relays. Nostr, quote, people don't often realize that Coracle is not only a Twitter-like client, but also has calendars, marketplaces, as well as groups. In the latest release, groups have gotten the web of trust treatment. When browsing groups, instead of getting a random assortment, they're now sorted by how many people you follow have joined them. Thanks to Danielle for his help making this release both pretty and functional. Added the developer. That would be HODLBOT. If you like Oracle and want to support its development, donate some sats via Geyser. And his Geyser fund is, let me get it over. I'll throw it up here in the window so that you guys over there at zap.stream can see it. Grinder, thank you for the extra 121 sats, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah, so Geyser, it is going to be, let me actually this reference for bullshit big to make sure that this is going to be, yes, this. So it's geyser.fund/project/Coracle, CORACLE. Now, for those of you wondering what this old update looks like, it looks like this. So here's the new Coracle update. And as you can see, when you hit feeds, I could go to relays, and I'll go to feeds. You can see that we have a bump out menu that comes to the right-hand side of the far left menu. And here is where you get to do stuff. Like, I'll go to follows. See, I could go to network. And then I put up, was that a pizza? Oh my God, that's the ugliest looking pizza I've ever seen. Actually, it looks quite tasty, but it's just all misshapen and kind of looks like a small red-faced baby. Really odd. But if I go back up to follows, I can go to filters and I can say, I only want to hear from my followers. I apply that filter. And then all of a sudden, it kind of looks the same as what we had. But if I go back and I say filters and I go to self, I can click the self button, apply that filter. Well, all of a sudden, now it's just what I've posted or what I've replied to or what I've quote noted, blah, blah, blah. But if I go to animal protein and fat, which is a test that I did yesterday, I don't really know how to use it yet. So here is my ask. Not only HODLBOT, if you're listening directly, but other people, reach out to HODLBOT. And what I need is a better tutorial. Now, I know you're busy, HODLBOT, and I don't want to get into your shit about it, but I'm not exactly sure what to do here. Now, this is just user feedback live and in real time here on the Bitcoin and podcast. So, and because I count HODLBOT as one of my friends, I'm okay with saying I'm a little confused on how to use some of these things. So if at all possible, if somebody out there besides HODLBOT himself really can look at this and go, oh shit, I know exactly what he's doing. And I'll, make a tutorial on how to use all these things to the best of my ability. Please do that. That would be freaking awesome, because Coracle is an unsung client that I wish that more people would use. And I think that that's going to happen with this update. Now, getting on into it, let me actually just, my follow feed. Oh, I need to back to just the people that I'm following, and we'll just let it go up. I could get in real trouble for what might actually occur on this. Be aware. Ronin Dojo version 2.1.4, regroup, rebuild, and return. Ronin Dojo is an installation assistant and admin tool for Samurai Wallet's Dojo, indexer, and related tools. Quote, since April the 24th, 2024, we've experienced significant changes and challenges, from legal guidance to the forced repository move. We've faced it all, but we're excited to announce that we are back in action. That's all I'm going to read from this, because I'm not exactly sure how to, I've never used Ronin Dojo. The important thing is that if I read this right, they kind of got scared and ran away, but it looks like some of these guys are saying, you know what? We've got to come back into the fight. With that said, I hope these guys don't use their real names, that they don't try to build a company around it, that they don't use a company structure like an LLC or an S Corp or whatever country they're in. Don't do that. Don't have an office. Don't have a telephone number. Don't have email. Don't have nothing. Just write the fucking code, release the code, because we've got to have ammunition to fight these people. And by running away from them, you're just giving them heart that what they're doing is the right thing to do, and what they're doing is the wrong thing to do. But we cannot use any of the legacy structures that we've seen, because that's how they come and find your ass. Now, Mostro, MOSTRO, version 0.12.0, orders with amounts by ranges. Mostro is a Lightning Network peer-to-peer exchange platform on Nostr, and this release has bug fixes, amounts by ranges, all kinds of stuff. Range orders are not yet implemented in the web client. To test them, you got to do it on Mostro CLI, or the command line interface, said the developers. And you can try out Mostro using a web version or via a Mostro command line interface. The latest updates to Mostro web client include that users can now generate a new private key. User ratings have now been implemented. Premiums and discounts can now be applied. Quote, if you want to test our Mostro daemon, on our last release, we share compiled binary files for different platforms, said the project. And other updates include new event info, code refactoring, custom expire time of order, and some other stuff. So if you're interested in using it, go to the web version is mostro.billathon.dev. Oh my God, I got to make sure that this is right. Hold on. I don't want to be leading y'all down the primrose path here. Yeah, Billthon. Okay, so it's MOSTRO, Mostro, .billthon, BILTHON.dev, if you want to go see what it's all about. Right now, I only see one order, and they're selling 200 VES that was created 4 hours ago. It expires in 19 hours. Payment via Pogo Mobile. It's got an ID. It's a sell order with a 2% premium. And honestly, I don't really use Mostro, but if you do, clearly they've got some updates, as well as LN Bits version 0.12.6. LN Bits is a free and open source Lightning wallet and an account system that comes with a variety of handy plugins and integrations. This version of LN Bits adds a dedicated user manager for simplified monitoring of users and wallets, as well as a critical bug fix for Eclair runners and a Phoenix D wallet integration. If you want somebody using LBits, they have updated, so get your updates as you wish. Spiral has issued a grant for Sean Gilligan and moves design grants to Bitcoin Design Foundation. Spiral announced a new grantee and made significant donations to the Bitcoin Design Foundation. Quote, new grantee Sean Gilligan is building on a version of the free and open source software validated Lightning signer that runs in a secure enclave. You can learn more here, and they give a link, as they normally. Quote, the foundation has received a large donation from Spiral. We'd like to express our deep gratitude for the continued support of the mission to support designers and builders who help push the user experience adoption of Bitcoin and related technologies forward. The design community and foundation would not exist without them, said the Bitcoin Design Foundation post. Moving forward, the foundation will independently issue grants related to design and user research. Current Spiral Design grantees are encouraged to apply for new grants with the foundation. If you want to support the Bitcoin Design Foundation, you can do so here. And of course, that is another link. And lastly, RoboSats version 0.6.2 alpha, there's a regression fix. RoboSats is a simple and private way to exchange Bitcoin. It simplifies the peer-to-peer user experience and uses Lightning Hold invoices to minimize custody and trust requirements while helping users stick to best privacy practices. RoboSats version 0.6.2 is now out. We only fixed a regression introduced in 0.6.1 that makes the depth chart crash. So they've done a small fix in RoboSats. Again, I have RoboSats on my Start 9 server 1. I actually have installed it and was kind of looking at what to do with it, but I'm not a big user of this. Not yet anyway. But if regulatory landscape continues down the path that it has been and is not curtailed by the 2024 presidential election shit and all the political crap that's going on, then I may have to start using a bunch more of these privacy enabled tools, which is exactly what RoboSat's version 0. Alpha is. All right, so with all that said, go down here back so that you guys can over there on Zapstream can see the geyser.fund/project/Coracle. Again, if you have not tried Coracle, and right now the Geyser Fund only has $214. I'd have to flip Autobot some sats over there on Geyser. Geyser or Coracle is a really fabulous Nostr client. It's gotten better and better and better, and it just looked like it got a whole lot better as of yesterday, this particular date. That's when I started playing around with it. All right, so who do we got now? Who's left in the Zap.stream? Grinder is still here. All right, hey Grinder. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to sign off, and I'm going to take you guys somewhere else. I'm going to raid you guys into some other, and I don't know who right now is actually streaming live, but we'll find somebody and I will drop you definitely in there. And to the rest of the guys out there listening on whatever podcasting 2.0 app you might be listening on, I'll see you on the other side. All right, let's see. Take you guys somewhere. There we go. That's raid. A raid. We're gonna raid somebody. Let's see. Geyser's got something. That may be something fun. So I'm going to raid you guys in over there, and then I am going to step off. We will see you